The old woman stood at the window of the colony station and looked at the stars. Her name was Beth, and she had seen 70 winters on this cold planet. The young ones called this world Hope's End, though the old maps said it was Colony Station Echo. Beth remembered the stories her grandmother told her. Stories about Earth, about the green hills and blue oceans, about a sun that felt warm on your skin. But those were just stories now, old tales from a dead world. "Gran, come eat," a voice called from behind her. Beth turned to see Tom, her grandson. He was thin, like everyone else in the colony. Food was always scarce on Hope's End. The machines that grew their crops were old, breaking down more each year. Nobody knew how to fix them properly anymore. "I'm coming," Beth said softly. The dining hall was quiet. 43 people lived in Colony Station Echo now. Once there had been thousands. Beth's grandmother said the first ships brought 5,000 souls to this place. That was 200 years ago. 200 years since Earth sent them here to build a new world. 200 years since Earth stopped talking to them. Tom brought Beth a bowl of thin soup. It was made from the pale roots they grew in the underground gardens. It tasted like nothing, but it kept them alive. "Did you check the signal again?" Beth asked. Tom nodded. His face looked sad. "Nothing, Gran. Same as yesterday. Same as always." Every day for 200 years, the colony sent out a signal. A simple message that said, "We are here. Please answer. We need help." Every day, they listened for a reply. Every day, they heard only silence. Most people in the colony believed Earth was gone. Maybe a war destroyed it. Maybe a plague. Maybe humans just killed themselves like they almost did before the colony ships left. Beth had heard all the theories. She had spent her whole life hearing them. But Beth never stopped believing. She couldn't say why. It was just a feeling deep in her chest, like a tiny flame that refused to die. After the meal, Tom went to work in the water recycling plant. It was his turn. Everyone took turns keeping the station running. Jack fixed the air systems. Emma maintained the power generator. Kate grew the food. Even the children had jobs. There were only 12 children left, and they all worked hard. Beth walked to the communication room. It was her job to monitor the signal. She had done this every day for 50 years, ever since she was 20. She would do it until she died, and then someone else would take her place. The room was cold and dark. The screens showed the same thing they always showed. Nothing. Just empty space and dead frequencies. Beth sat in the old chair and watched the displays. She whispered the same prayer she said every day. "Please," she said to the stars, "if anyone can hear us, if anyone is out there, we are still here. We are still alive. Please don't forget us." The hours passed slowly. Beth's eyes grew heavy. She was so tired. She had been tired for so long. Then something changed. At first, Beth thought she was dreaming. A light blinked on the console. A light that had never blinked before. Her heart began to pound. Her hands shook as she reached for the controls. The speakers crackled with static. Then, through the noise, she heard something. A voice. Clear and strong. "Colony Station Echo. This is the Earthship Redemption. We have received your signal. We are coming for you. Repeat, we are coming for you. Hold on. Please hold on. We never forgot you. We are on our way." Beth's hands flew to her mouth. Tears ran down her wrinkled face. She tried to speak, but no words came out. She pressed the button to reply, her whole body shaking. "This is Colony Station Echo," she whispered. Then louder, "This is Colony Station Echo. We are here. We are still here." The voice on the other end answered, and Beth heard something she had not heard in her entire life. She heard hope. "We know," the voice said. "We're coming home. All of you are coming home." Asterisk. The news spread through Colony Station Echo like fire. Beth had pressed the emergency alarm, the one they used only for disasters. But this was not a disaster. This was a miracle. People ran to the communication room. They came in their work clothes, covered in dirt and grease. They came crying. They came in silence, afraid to believe. Tom held his grandmother as she played the message again and again. "We never forgot you. We are on our way." Jack, the oldest man in the colony, fell to his knees. He was 82 years old. He had given up hope 40 years ago. Now he wept like a child. Emma held him, her own tears falling on his gray hair. "How long?" Kate asked. Her voice was small and scared. "How long until they get here?" Beth checked the data on the screen. Her hands still shook. They say 6 weeks. 6 weeks. It felt like forever. It felt like tomorrow. The colony had waited 200 years. What was 6 more weeks? But those weeks were the longest of their lives. The people of Echo Station changed. They cleaned the halls for the first time in years. They fixed broken lights. They made the place look less like a tomb and more like a home. The children asked questions constantly. What did Earth look like now? Would the rescuers have real food? Would there be doctors? Emma, who was a teacher, tried to prepare them. But how could she? She had never seen Earth either. None of them had. They were born in the dark, raised in the cold, taught to expect nothing. Every day, Beth talked to the rescue ship. A man named David answered her calls. He had a kind voice. He told her stories about Earth, about cities that touched the clouds, about oceans filled with life, about 7 billion people who lived and laughed and loved. Are there really that many? Beth asked. More, David said. Humanity spread to 12 worlds now. But we never stopped looking for the lost colonies. We never stopped searching for Echo Station. Why did it take so long? Tom asked one day. He had his own questions. 200 years of anger lived in his chest. David's voice became sad. The war, he said. The Great War almost destroyed us. We lost so much. Records, technology. Whole cities turned to ash. But we rebuilt. And when we rebuilt, we found the old colony logs. We found your location. We've been traveling for 30 years to reach you. 30 years. Beth's mind could barely understand it. They had traveled for 30 years to find 43 forgotten people. Why? She whispered. Why come so far for so few? Because you're human, David said simply. Because you're ours. Because we made a promise when we sent your ancestors to the stars. We promised to build a future together. All of us. We don't leave our people behind. Not ever. Finally, the day came. The children saw it first. They were outside in their environment suits, working in the dome garden. Little Anna pointed at the sky and screamed. Her voice came through the radio, high and excited. Ships. I see ships. Everyone ran to the windows. Everyone put on suits and went outside to look up. And there, breaking through the clouds of Hope's End, came the fleet. They were not small ships. They were not old and broken like Echo Station. They were massive and beautiful, painted white and silver. Their engines glowed blue like captured stars. There were 10 of them, each one bigger than the entire colony. Beth stood in the freezing wind and cried. Tom stood beside her, his mouth open in wonder. Jack laughed and danced like a young man. Emma hugged Kate. The children jumped and shouted and pointed. The largest ship descended slowly. It landed 1 mile from the station, and the ground shook with its weight. A ramp lowered. Lights blazed in the darkness. And then they came. Hundreds of them. Humans in clean uniforms. Humans with strong bodies and bright eyes. Humans who had not spent their lives starving and struggling. They carried supplies. They carried medicine. They carried hope. The first one to reach Beth was David. She knew him by his voice when he spoke. "Beth," he said, and he was crying too. "We're here. We came for you. All of you." Beth couldn't speak. She just fell into his arms and held him. She held him and knew, finally, that they were not forgotten anymore. Asterisk. The rescue team worked fast. They brought food first. Real food, fresh bread and fruit and meat. The colonists ate and cried. Many got sick because their stomachs were not used to such rich meals. But they didn't care. They ate and smiled through their tears. Doctors examined everyone. They gave medicine. They healed old wounds and treated diseases that had no cure on Echo Station. Little Anna had been born with a weak heart. The doctors fixed it in 3 days. Her mother held her and sobbed with joy. David walked through the station with Beth. He looked at the old machines. He saw how the colonists had survived with almost nothing. He touched the walls that were patched with metal scraps and hope. "You did the impossible," he said quietly. "You kept humanity alive in the dark. You never gave up." Beth shook her head. "We just lived. We didn't know how to do anything else." "That's what makes it so incredible," David replied. On the 5th day, David called a meeting. All 43 colonists gathered in the dining hall. The rescue team stood with them. David's face was serious, but kind. "We came to bring you home," he said. "The ships are ready. We have space for everyone. Earth is waiting for you. But," he paused, "but the choice is yours. If any of you want to stay here, we will leave supplies. We will leave people to help you. We will make sure you have everything you need." The room fell silent. Stay or go. It seemed like an easy choice. Who would want to stay in this cold, dark place? Jack stood up slowly. His old body was stronger now after the doctors helped him. "I want to see Earth," he said. "I want to die on the world where humans were born. I spent my whole life here, but I want to go home." Others nodded. Emma agreed. Kate agreed. Most of the younger people wanted to leave. They wanted to see the worlds David described. They wanted to live in the light, but Tom surprised everyone. He stood and looked at his grandmother. "I want to stay," he said. Beth's eyes went wide. "Tom, no. You should go. You should see everything." "This is my home, Gran," Tom said firmly. "I was born here. My parents died here. Their graves are here. Someone needs to remember them. Someone needs to keep this place alive." He looked around. "This station is part of human history now. It's proof of what we can survive. I want to stay and make sure it becomes something good. A museum, a memorial, a reminder." 5 others agreed with Tom, young people who felt the same way. They would stay and rebuild. They would turn Colony Station Echo into a symbol. David smiled. "Then we'll leave you everything you need, and we'll come back. Every year, you won't be alone again. Ever." Beth made her choice too. She would go to Earth. She wanted to see the ocean before she died. She wanted to feel the real sun. But she made Tom promise to tell their story, to make sure people remembered. 3 weeks later, the ships prepared to leave. Beth stood with Tom one last time outside the station. She was wearing clean clothes now. She looked younger, healthier, but her eyes were sad. "I'll miss you," she said. "I'll miss you too, Gran," Tom replied. "But you'll see me again. I'll visit Earth someday." "You better," Beth said, and she hugged him hard. The ships rose into the sky. Beth watched Hope's End get smaller through the window. She watched until she couldn't see the colony anymore. Then she turned and looked forward, toward home, toward Earth. When the ships arrived at Earth 6 months later, millions of people were waiting. The story of Colony Station Echo had spread across all human worlds. The forgotten colonists became heroes. They became proof that humanity never abandoned its own. That no matter how far you went, no matter how lost you were, humanity would find you. Beth walked off the ship and felt real sunlight for the first time. She fell to her knees and touched real grass. She cried and laughed and couldn't believe she was really there. David knelt beside her. "Welcome home," he said. Beth looked up at the blue sky. She thought of Tom on Hope's End. She thought of all the years of darkness, and she smiled. "We made it," she whispered. "We finally made it home." And across the stars, on every human world, people heard the message. The promise that would never be broken again. We leave no one behind. The End *.